What is one technique that you've learned from your acting experience and classes that could be implemented in dealing with a narcissist?
Yes. And clearly you can tell I'm not controlling my face or acting with you guys. I'm being myself, but I'm making all these weird faces. So really, like I said
we're
before,
used to it though.
Pretending and imagining, like, real quick, like I'm this other character, like I've got it all together, and come hell or high water, like you're not gonna bend me. Like I will stand my just instead of being like insecure in my head how I would feel if I didn't go, okay, now I'm this, I'm this person, and I'm gonna make sure I show that I'm confident and that they can feel that vibe and stare them straight in the eye and talk directly to them. Yeah. And, go ahead and lean into that character, even though it is part of you. It's all parts of you that you're just bringing out from inside you and allowing it to flow. That's what it is. Anyone can do it. It just takes some practice. It's like a muscle, right? When you go to the gym, work out. So, yeah.
So you embody a totally different character to deal with that situation, if I understand it. Is that right or no?
That's right. I didn't think of it in the moment. I think it's a survival skill. And then when I started doing acting training, I realized that and took it a step further, of course.
Yeah.
And,
sometimes it's just to survive. We have to become like Mary Poppins, Martha Stewart. I was as perfect as I could be. And it also got me away from him because I stayed in the kitchen, or I was baking or taking care of kids.
Wow, that's so true. And it makes us lie. I was just thinking about that today, and I talked to a therapist a long time ago about that. She's like, you had to lie, Crystal, to survive. Think about who was around you and what was going on. I'm like, you're right, because I always got told, like, you're lying, and all that kind of stuff, and it made me feel bad. And later I tried to be honest, and it was even worse. So, you got to be around the right people to be honest. So sometimes you have to lie to protect yourself or children, just like Susie was saying.
Yeah, pretend everything's okay. Always pretending something, always being something, being who they want in the moment or what they want.
Wow.
And then when people would come over, you had to pretend everything was okay. You could have just had the biggest blowout. They lose their minds. House is a wreck. You fix everything quick and carry on like nothing happened.
Man.
And they're never accountable.
No.
Because
you would never know. Yeah, you'd never know what I lived in, the things that we go through.
No,
never know.
And that's a character that you played. You didn't even realize you were acting because it is parts of you from inside. It's a survival instinct.
So
you turn into a chameleon. Literally.
Does that mean you have to let a certain part of you die or be numb?
I could never be who I am. I was never my true personality with him. And then I couldn't be with my kids unless he was out of the house. But then I was broken or upset or stressed or worried of what was coming next. So, no.
Of course. No, I did the same thing and didn't act like myself, but I prefer to think of it as putting it on a shelf and going, okay, I'm going to learn from this. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm going to see this to completion and learn the lesson. And then I'm going to pick myself off the shelf and be even better and stronger.
Interesting.
I realized at some point I looked at it like that. How weird is that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're calling it what it is. That would be a weird thing for people to experience. I'm thinking about individuals who are going through this right now, and they know nothing about narcissism or toxic people, unhealthy behavior, and they're thinking something's wrong with them, and in actuality, they're just trying to survive.
Yeah,
that's what comes to mind for me.
Yes,
exactly.
That they can feel emotionally trapped in themselves, but they're actually the normal person. They're really the normal one. But everybody else is going to, based upon what the others around them hear from the narcissist, can start to say, well, no, they really have a problem. You can't trust what they say. And they're just being forced to, would you say, Susie, be a chameleon?
Yeah, now looking back, my family members that I'm reconnecting with, family and friends, they all say now that they would come up for holidays and whatnot, and they got so tired of watching me be this robot, like a Stepford wife. And I never sat with them and ate. I never talked to anyone. I just worked, made everything and worked and stayed in the kitchen because I just disassociated to the point that I wasn't myself. They saw it. I don't even think they knew what it was, but no one ever liked him. Everyone knew that my personality was just being, I was just a shell of who I was. I didn't have my personality anymore. I couldn't be happy. I couldn't be funny. I couldn't be silly. I couldn't dance. I couldn't sing. I couldn't laugh.
Oh, wow. You're killing me now. That's crazy.
He would literally say to me, act like a grown-up or you're crazy. Yeah. Did you imagine? But it was slowly, because when I first met him, he loved those things about me.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Loved it. Oh, he thought I was funny and, all these great things. And then.
Did you ever say, remember why you fell for me? Do you not recall?
Yeah. Well.
Hey, you know what?
I think they want to
would have been a
be.
Great thing to say, right, Crystal? Yeah. You're like, excuse me? You do know who I am, right? It's just like.
I did that. I went back and forth.
Me, or do you remember who I am?
Yeah. I went back and forth from being like Susie to In Their Face, just like back and forth, and couldn't make up my mind.
Yeah.
I remember you saying that on the first show we did together, Crystal, and I totally could envision you being that because you were into debate, and then we're gonna throw it down right now, and you're gonna bring the facts, and you're gonna pull all your lawyer moves out and stuff you knew to do. Yeah, and
I pushed,
and
so
then
hard.
I remember as we kept doing shows, you got some love on the screen, Crystal, by the way, from Rick.
Oh, thanks. I'm sorry I can't see it.
And he just says, Crystal, you're a good person. And 100% he gave you. And Mia, you are a good person too. He says to you as well, Marianne, appreciating both of you. Appreciate it a great deal. I'm still waiting for the one for Susie. But anyhow, what I was going to say, no, I'm just messing with him. I'm messing with Rick.
Crystal, I'm curious when you would push back, right? Because when I pushed back, I defended myself. I would call him out on everything in the beginning. And then he got nastier. And then I would, he would start with me and I'd get bigger, louder, more in his face. And then it started to get violent. So that reactive abuse that he pushed me. And I had no choice but to defend myself. But as time went on, I just, didn't fight back at all. Didn't defend myself. But did you get that? Did you start falling for the reactive abuse ploy?
Maybe we were on like opposite sides because it took longer. It was the very end when it became a domestic violence situation and some things went down and I left. Like that was at the end and that was like, obviously a decision point. But before it was a lot of like, he looked like he was going to blow a gasket. It looked like his head was going to pop out and his eyes would bulge because he would get so upset and like, he would just throw stuff, start cursing. And whether it was on a text or in person, it didn't matter. It was just, I couldn't help but just keep debating and pushing because I was like, well, you don't make any sense. I'm like, listen to what you're saying. Like, you sound like, it just made me so mad because I was treating him like he was me or like a normal person. And it really took me a while because you have love and you keep loving and loving. Going, I don't understand. I'm giving you everything. Like, what's wrong?
Mm-hmm. Very confusing. Very confusing. And then you want to fix them. I wanted to fix them, help them, show him how he was making me feel, or bring it to his attention. Maybe he wasn't aware. No, he was aware. They know exactly what they're doing.
I did the same thing. So. I think I looked up personality disorders. Like I Googled it, and I was in between NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, and something called borderline personality disorder. So I went with the BPD, the borderline one, so that, because I'm like, okay, I can't go this way. He's going to freak out. Let me go with this one. And I sat him down and pulled open the laptop and was like, I really want to talk to you.
I want to help you. Because we did.
So you sat him down and you're going to do an intervention. Go ahead.
Can you believe that? I have balls, right, to do that. I knew in the look he gave me, he was very calm when we had that conversation. I was amazed. He was just very calm, making the eye contact with me. He didn't freak out or I was amazed. I was like, you know, let me just read some of the behaviors out to you and some things that we're dealing with, and this is why we keep getting in these situations. And I'm reading it, and it does fit, and I want to just see what you think, and maybe we can talk to a therapist about it or talk to somebody about it. Let me see what you think. I approached him from that very peaceful way of like informing him.
I'm sorry, I'm not.
I did that.
I've heard the story before, so I'm laughing because hearing you say it now is different than when you told me the very first time. But go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't remember even saying that before. Good Lord.
Yeah, you did. And you really were hoping that you were making progress, as it were, right?
I was curious. You know, Susie, I don't know if you looked up stuff and researched. Everybody's like, why is my partner being an asshole? You know, oops, we're not supposed to curse.
Wait, and then what happened?
Oh, how did he respond? He was just very calm. I can't really remember what he said, but it was very vague. He didn't say yes or no. I think he was just trying to get through the situation, maybe without saying, I don't know what, maybe he was acting in that moment because he did not freak out.
That's what I was going to ask.
Kept his cool. I was like, why is he being so calm? That's freaky.
Do you think that was the first time? Do you think that was the first time he heard it, or maybe he had heard it before? Somebody told him before.
No clue. I don't even want to pretend like I know, but obviously relationship problems galore. But I don't know what any of his other
wow, yeah,
ladies would have said to him. I don't know.